Enter to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the 50th annual MSRA Back to the 50s weekend, June 21st, 22nd, and 23rd at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds. Head over to our contest page to register for your chance to win. That's KFAN.com, keyword contest.
Hey, Cheryl Reeve, it's Paul Allen. How are you?
Paul Allen, how the heck are you? I'm good.
Pretty well. I'm doing pretty well, thank you. It's probably my L here. All right, so I'm calling races at Canterbury, and sadly we had a jockey go down, so I went to St. Francis Hospital in Shakopee after to check up on my man, just to let him know, hey, somebody's thinking about you, even though you're not from here. And then I get home and I'm settling in and I went to watch your game and I couldn't find your game, so it's probably my L. I'm sure there's some type of Fubo or Hulu or something like that old guy can put on his phone and watch, but I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to watch your game. And you beat Seattle last night, 83-64. And like looking at the game into it, man, Seattle was hot. Holy cow. Seattle was playing really well. And you guys are 3-0 against that squad this year. So that seemed like a fun one last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, PA, and I'm really sorry to hear that. And in terms of you not being able to watch, I look forward to the day that it's not so difficult to watch the WNBA. But if you can download the Valley Sports app, that is one way to consume it. And as you mentioned, DirecTV and Fubo are other ways. But that being said, it was just a terrific win for us. You mentioned Seattle came in here with a 6-game win streak and had just come off a big win in Las Vegas against the Aces. And so I just felt like, we came off a loss in Phoenix. We felt like we let one get away there in Phoenix. We couldn't close out the game, and they stole one from us. And so we were, I was looking forward to see what our response would be. Our defense was not the level that it needed to be to win on the road. We talked about that on Sunday morning. And then we just kind of said, hey, we want to be aggressive and win with our defense. And Seattle's a terrific defensive team too. So we knew it would be kind of a slugfest. And it was that way for sure the first half. They took a 10-point lead. And, at halftime, we just talked about our offense can't fuel their defense. And that's what was happening. And so we settled in offensively, made more shots, got our defense set, and found a way to get some separation in the game.
And I can't exactly remember what Kent Youngblood wrote in the Star Tribune account this morning, but it's something that you said to Nafisa Collier, where basically, like, I don't care if you argue about calls, or you just kind of let her loose with something, and then she and Nneka Ogwumike had a couple of moments, from what I understand. But Collier's one of the best players in the WNBA, for those who don't know. But like, what did you say to her before the game that kind of unleashed her?
Well, we actually had a conversation after the Phoenix game on our return flight on Saturday, and some of her frustration of the physicality, the calls that she's not getting, the contact that's going uncalled, and so it's sort of a cumulative effect. And just through the years, I mean, Fee is about as nice as they come, good sports person, and sometimes that's penalized. And in this day and age, that's just not, it's just not rewarded. The nice guy thing it's just not rewarded anymore. And so, we just had a conversation about, I actually communicated to officials too. I said, here's the unfortunate thing. Fee doesn't complain. And they're like, you're right, she doesn't. And I said, it hurts her, right? I've had higher level conversations with supervisor officials, et cetera, and just we said that's it. And we're Fee has our blessing within her personality. I told Fee that on the plane. We looked at some plays, and I tried to coach her through how to maybe potentially get force a call to be made, and but she has to accept so much more contact than some of the other MVP candidates. And it's just not. It's one of those things that you have a limit, and Fee's reached her limit. And I support her. I'll fight for her. I don't want her to focus on officiating. That's the biggest thing. But at the same time, when she is fouled and it's uncalled, she needs to let people know. And so other players in the league do that, and so Fee will join them.
Well, that's and sorry to clump in there, but I mean that can be so much different than the NBA, right? I mean, just think of Karl Anthony Towns. Where he goes for X amount of years of screaming and whining and complaining and stuff like that. And it's almost like the old school refs flipped on him, where it like harmed him when he would complain and he would get nothing. And so Finch gets here, and I don't know how he gets into Cat, but Cat calms down with it to a certain extent. And funny, now he's starting to get some calls. Is that how it works in the WNBA?
Well, I mean, I think there's sort of that fine line. There's a point of diminishing returns. I think you have to be selective and believable. It's not every play. And I think Fee certainly has that discretion and doesn't believe she's fouled on every play. It's like anything, picking your spots is really important and being believable. And then we just do a lot of work behind the scenes, trying to send in clips and talk about, hey, if this is legal contact, let us know and we'll coach it up on our end. No matter what it is, I think from an officiating standpoint, I think we're really struggling with what is marginal contact. Marginal contact, and again, put the person that's experiencing the contact and try to put yourself in their shoes and tell me that when I can't turn or I go to shoot and I get hit on the arm, that they deem it wasn't enough. That's the thing that we're officiating. It wasn't enough. For you, well, that's really super subjective for an official who's running up and down, who's not been in those situations, and what is deemed as marginal. And so, we obviously have to push and pull on that end. But you brought up Fee, and I think Fee is a phenomenal person who's a great sport, a great representation of not only the Minnesota Lynx but the entire WNBA, and so. We don't want, a certain look, so to speak. But I think Fee standing up for herself with me behind her, fighting with her, I think is important for her to get the respect that she's earned.
I love that. With Collier, is the WNBA chock full of a bunch of big ladies or taller ladies, stretch, say 4s or 5s? Who can hit threes? Because, I mean, she'll grab 15 rebounds on you. She'll block 3 shots, but she also might hit 2 or 3 threes.
Yeah, and that's the next layer to Fee's evolution and catapulting her into this space that, to be unguardable. And we've been talking about that for a couple of years now, and we're giving her goals for how many threes we really need her to take. Look at some of the matchups that she's going against, and you're playing against A'ja Wilson in the post. Like, she draws the team's best defender. A'ja Wilson's just a phenomenal defender. You've got to be multidimensional to play against great defenses like that. And the 3-ball will unlock some of her ability to, be a 3-level scorer and be more difficult, more challenging to guard. And so I'm excited for that evolution to Fee's game this season.
Hey, for those who haven't followed you guys this year, or maybe been to a game or listened to one on via the iHeart family, Kayla McBride with that sweet shot. I mean, she shot 70% from 3-point range last night. She hit 7, 9 of 13 overall. But Kayla McBride, like, how important is she to what you guys do? And Cheryl's Lynx, by the way, are 8-3 and 5-1 at home. How important is she to what you do? And like, what do you like about Kayla?
Well, tremendously important. She has been a terrific co-captain to Fee. That relationship evolved last season. They had tremendous synergy, sort of as our team evolved. They were at the forefront last season of our ability to dig out of a tough start and get to where we got to. And, 40 minutes from having a chance to be in the semifinals of playoffs, right? It was a pretty good story for us last year. And K-Maxx, I think evolution as a leader. They go over to Turkey in the off season and play together for Fenerbahce, and they're just in a really good place together. And I think what K-Mac gives us obviously is the ability to stretch the defense. We have shot more threes. Points in the paint is sort of a thing of the past for this team. we don't really get that as much, but we can put the ball in the paint and collapse you, and we've got shooters, and K-Mac has really been the beneficiary of that. she's in a really, really good headspace. For shooters, we know, how it can go. And when you're hot, and you ride it and you enjoy it. There'll be tough times. There's no doubt about it. She's not going to shoot 70% the rest of the way. We're all pretty sure of that. And I think that K-Mac is super important to us. And she does so much more than just shoot the basketball. Being a two-way player in this league is really, really valuable, just like in the NBA. And K-Mac is that for us.
Cheryl Reeve, the head coach and president of basketball operations for the Minnesota Lynx on the 9 to noon show. And, with that handful of rings that you have, Cheryl, you know quality stock. So you kind of know whether it's Lindsay leading the way or whomever, when you're onto something. So with this team, just from what you know now, do you feel like potentially you guys are really onto something big this year?
That's a tough space for me to go into, including when we had the great Lindsay Whalen. You get so locked in and focused on, your games, like a single game at a time, and what you're doing. You really can't. That's a very, very dangerous, slippery slope to look out, beyond what you're doing. And I would caution anybody against that. We've gotten off to a really good start through 25% of our season. We've enjoyed it. They should be applauded for it. But we've got a long, long way to go. I loved our training camp. I love the team. It's a special, special group. So I think just let's enjoy it and let's see where it takes us, just one game at a time. Yeah,
and I respect that. And I've chatted with enough coaches or head coaches or executives throughout the years to absolutely appreciate your answer. But like the reason I asked is because the times that I have watched you this year, your defense at times is unbelievable with these switches. And the quick fire decision to go over or under a pick. And, I think it was part of the Phoenix game and the game you had before that, which I watched in its entirety. The perimeter defense, you have to feel good about that right now, don't you?
No, that's a very different question, PA. I like that a lot.
Thank you.
Love your analysis and what you just shared. That excites me. That gives us a chance to win every game that we play. Yeah. That was born in training camp. We made defense a priority, but the players have to buy into that. And so exactly what you're talking about, our ability to get through a screen with a sense of urgency, our ability to cover for each other, our ability to scramble out, our ability to trust that, hey, there's times that you're leaving a great player on the backside open, but you have to trust the team concepts. You have to trust that over the course of a game, can they continually beat you at what we're giving them? And so they have bought into that. Just completely, 1,000%. They're all in. And so that makes me very, very happy what we're doing defensively. It's the best defensive team we've had in a very long time.
It was the LA game. So I catch part of the Phoenix game, and that was a physical game. It was kind of a rough and tumble game. But I watched almost all of the Sparks game, and that's the game I was talking about, man. That perimeter defense out LA way, I don't know if you've seen better this year, but it's like the best I've seen all season. And I figured I'd praise your perimeter defense and your basketball acumen and your leadership skills as president of basketball operations before asking you why Caitlin Clark is off the the United States national team. You knew that one was coming, right?
Well, I appreciate the
accolades
you have for our defense, and I didn't play a lick of defense, not one possession, but getting a group that believes that's our path, and I think probably it's a case where like a few people that have been here are like, we can't be 10th, we can't be in the bottom four defensively, and think that we're actually going to do something special. And so I appreciate that they bought into that.
When do you leave for Paris?
We leave, so we break for the WNBA hiatus after our last game on July 17. We go out to Phoenix with USA Basketball as well as the All-Star game. We'll play an All-Star game there, and then we leave following the All-Star game on the 20th. We head over to Europe, and we'll begin the journey. We don't get to Paris until closer to July 26th.
Do you enjoy the process of coaching the Olympic team?
Absolutely. Gosh, what an incredible honor, first of all. And I tell them each time that I'm with them, either training camp or competition. And, I'm in awe. of kind of, have a collection of players that, certainly we play against. You understand it when you're playing against them, how good they are. But then when you get them all together, just the way that they believe in USA basketball, the way that, they commit to it, training camp after training camp or competition after competition, given all the ways that they're pulled in different directions. And so I'm always in awe, and I just, I hope I represent them well, as they are representing it, and I've enjoyed the experience tremendously.
Well, one of your players that you're going to have on that team, I mean, you'll get Asia Wilson tomorrow night at Las Vegas, and I mean that lady could score 35 every single game if they let her shoot enough. But like Kelsey Plum, she's on that team too, and I know these names and stuff, but like I'm watching more this year and everything, and like Kelsey Plum's really, really good, isn't she?
She is. Asia Wilson is absolutely phenomenal, playing at an unbelievable level, both offensively and defensively. Kelsey Plum, she's somebody we like to use for young players that come into the league as sort of this benchmark of, look at Kelsey Plum's rookie season and the ways that she struggled. She came out of college being this great scorer, and then got into the W, and it was really, really hard. And Kelsey Plum's response to it was just phenomenal. And the player that she is today, Bill Lambier was a big part of that and bringing that team along, and Kelsey Plum's evolution as a player. And I think the world of Kelsey Plum as a basketball player, and I've loved the time I've had a chance to spend with her at USAB.
So seriously speaking, what was Caitlin not being selected for that team? Is that like a massive talker in the WNBA? Because I liked her response where she was like, of course I'd love to paraphrase it. I'd love to be on the team. I'm going to root for the ladies. I could really use some time off. And if I'm supposed to be on that team moving forward, then that would be an honor. So like, is that a massive talker in the W?
Well, I've seen the reports about the national team final roster, but until there's a final announcement that's put out by USA Basketball, I'm going to refrain from comments about any player that made or didn't make the team. Okay,
I got you on that. I respect that. But what I'm thinking is, like, how can you start drawing a passing game if you don't exactly know who your team is? You know what I mean?
Well, we can surmise, from our past experiences. This is the coolest thing about USAB. This is just in terms of growing as a coach. One of the greatest challenges with USAB through the course of, we started February of 2022 was my first competition. That's where they first established the pool for the kind of beginning what they call the quad. That was only 3 years because of the Tokyo Olympics getting pushed a year because of COVID. So I have a 3-year window, and we have been through competitions, whether in a qualifying tournament, which is what it was in February, we were in Washington, D.C. It's a collection of players that we know leading into it, they ask the players who want to participate, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. They get the pool. Okay, here's who's coming. And I don't know that until roughly a week before.
Right.
Here's who you got. Committee forms, they decide this, boom, here's who you got. And as coaches, that is one of the most fun challenges that you have is go, okay, what are the strengths of the team? How are we going to play? And then the very next time we get together, the pool could look completely different. For example, the college tour, where there's some players overseas, et cetera, all these reasons. I got all guards and like 3 bigs. 2 bigs get hurt. I got 1 big, all guards. And you got to figure it out, right? And so it's not uncommon. I mean, I could sort of surmise, but we don't know until we get over to Paris exactly who we have, because there's still some serious variables here. So, but I can get some idea of what I think it could be, and we have formed a base of how we want to play regardless of who's on the team. I think that's the biggest thing. You know what, to be honest with you, the most important thing you could do as an Olympic coach when you're coaching WNBA players is to make sure that what you're doing fits them, not me.
Yeah.
Right. And so what I'm doing has to be second nature to them. And so living in that space, and you can't get complicated. You got to do simple things.
Yeah.
That's within their nature. And so that's what we're focused on, regardless who's on the team.
When the Aces were here earlier in the season, I think it was like game 6 or 7, something like that. They beat you guys by 14. And you don't have many losses this year, but in that game, you scored 10 in the fourth quarter, and you had 16 in the first quarter. So obviously, fast start, fast finish would be preferred. But like these aces with Asia Wilson and who they have now, what do you expect tomorrow night as a response to that loss?
Well, I hope a really great response, PA. I think that what we were disappointed with is we like as you mentioned, we stalled offensively. We came out of the gates being unsure of ourselves. They were physical. They put us in some positions, switching, et cetera, that we've experienced more of since then. And I think, for example, last night, I thought we did a great job of playing behind switches. So just understanding, when a team guards you a certain way, what are your answers to it? I think we've evolved in that way. There's certainly, I think defensively, that's the best we've played the Aces in a while. I think their offensive rating was about 100. 100 is an average offensive game for a team. Mm-hmm. Anything over 100, obviously above average. And so, we held them probably to our best defensive rating that we have in a long time. The problem was our offense wasn't good enough. So we've got to make sure our defense is where we hang our hat, gives us a chance to win every game. Make sure that that's the case when we go to Vegas. And then let's see if we can't unlock some things offensively and find our way, to be a tick above average. And I think that could get it done. What
do you ladies do, or like what do you and your staff do when you go to Las Vegas? Like you'll be there tonight for a game tomorrow. What do you enjoy about the city?
Yeah, it's one of those things I wish we could do more. I do like to gamble, PA. I like a good slot machine.
Let's go.
It's really a pain in the neck to leave our facility. As you know, in Vegas, there's no easy way of getting around. Everything takes a long time. I like to walk. So for me, to be honest with you, my favorite thing to do is go to the Aria Casino and go to Javier's restaurant to eat. So if you haven't been to Javier's in the Aria hotel and casino, that's a tremendous Mexican spot.
Jeez.
And I get the I overeat. Let's just say that way. I overeat, but that's my favorite thing to do. You asked.
Yeah.
So eating is usually it for me.
Yeah, I overeat too. What I did to Taco Libre Edina last night should be a felony in 48 states. The Mexican spot is at the Aria. Do you like desserts?
Oh my gosh, of course I do.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well,
I try not to get it when I'm on the road.
Okay, well, right next to Aria is the Cosmopolitan.
Ooh.
And there they have a Mastro's. Are you familiar?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Butter cake. The Mastro's butter cake is the greatest dessert ever created in the history of God's earth. Have you ever had it?
Well, I mean, butter cake is just, that should be a felony, whoever created that, So I think I might make my way there.
Yeah, you got to do it. It's warm. They drip like strawberries, real strawberries and stuff like that on it. It's phenomenal. Vanilla ice cream. It's terrific. Hey, I'm going to watch you tomorrow night on NBA TV, and I really enjoy our conversations each and every time we have them. Let's catch up in a couple of weeks, and best of luck to you guys, okay?
Thanks, PA. We appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. See you later. Cheryl Reeve, head coach of this Lynx team's good, man. I'm telling you. I know what I saw the other day against the Sparks in this perimeter defense. Looking at Johnny the Mouse Mickelson going, holy cow. I'm watching the replay of a WNBA game and the 85 Bears defense breaks out,
No love for my Golden State Warriors?
All right, 10:30, you're listening to 9 to Noon. I still got the name. Oh, is this Cool Modi?
This is Houdini.
Oh, Houdini, yeah.
Houdini.
Freak come out at night. Max comes out at night. Max comes out at night. And Parker comes out at night. Hey. Howling with the homies is all right. Now I know where Cool Modi kind of got his style.
Yeah.
From Houdini. Because like Cool Modi... Now, Cool Modi, whether as the rap world goes. Hold on, what the hell's happening here?
He beat Dallas at home, the world champions, on Saturday night. Go back to L.A. the next night and beat the Clippers.
What's going on? Dark, God rest your soul, man. All right, 3-2. Oh, Cool Modi. Producing's an art. Max is Picasso. But of course, why else would he try so hard to paint a picture? Try to put yourself in Max's shoes, but they won't fit you. He's bigger and better. Forget about the others. Every time he rocks a mic, he left a stain in your brain. The will remain stuck in the back of your brain till you hear him again. So And also How You Like Me Now. Do you know that song?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his biggest one. Cool Mo D, How You Like Me Now. He went to Brown University. So my man is Ivy League raised.
Wow.
Now, I don't know
I never knew that.
Like, Snoop has some songs that I've just always enjoyed. Eminem with Lose Yourself is Immortality. There's so many. Just follow me here. But like Cool Mo D he's antithetical to what a lot of people would know with rappers, where you don't have to come from an impoverished situation. You don't have to grow up in city of Compton. You don't have to grow up on 8 Mile. You don't have to be like Dougie Fresh and grow up in Washington, D.C. In certain parts of Washington, D.C., specifically Southeast where I lived. Cool Mo D took a different direction, and he had a very short run, made a very large amount of money in a very short amount of time, but he was Brown educated, Ivy League educated. So therefore, if you read into the words into his songs, he gets a lot of accolades. I don't think anymore, but like Eminem used to love up on him big time.
Yeah, Eminem's a huge fan. Like, people can say what they want about the lyrics, and some of those songs have aged like milk, but he's a huge he loves the history of hip hop, the game, the art, the craft of hip hop. Yeah,
I mean you'll know this as hip hop / rap music goes, and we got next segment for the musings too, by the way, and I still got that name for you. Who I think the Timberwolves are going to take in the first round of the NBA draft, because I think Finchy dropped us a clue, and we'll do that next segment. But all right, 3-2. What are we talking about again? Oh, yeah. The first massive rap song that like blacks, whites, men, women, everybody kind of got into. Do you know what it is?
Rapper's Delight?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Sugar Hill Gang.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Love that song.
And see, that had some pop to it. So that had, like WPGC would be the big radio station I listened to growing up in Washington, D.C. Then I moved to Los Angeles, and it's Rick D's in the morning. Tell us what time it is. Tell us what the climate is. Rick D's in the morning on Kiss FM. And so that was a big station there. And I think like that song, Sugar Hill Gang song, would have played not only on what would be labeled black radio stations or black music, but or radio stations that play music, which is this just stupid the way I'm talking right now. But
it'd be on, basically in local parlance, it'd be on KMOJ and KDWB.
Okay, right. There you go. Good way to look at it.
Yeah.
As local goes, which is just a foolish way to, but that's how people talk. Just to get people to understand what I'm talking about here. So I think Sugar Hill Gang would have crossed over to like both those stations, man. In fact, I bet you it did.
It probably did. Yeah, no. Some people accuse them of plagiarism on that song. There's like some derivative nature to it a little bit. Some people say that, this guy wrote this part and this guy wrote that part, but we don't really know for sure. But they're obviously the ones that popularized it. And regardless of if anyone else did write it, they're the ones that brought the swag to it.
So what you hear is not a test. Maxx is rapping to the beat. He, the groove, and his friends are going to try to move your feet. You see, I am Wonder Maxx, and I
like to say hello
to the black, to the white, the red, and the brown, the purple, and yellow. But first, I gotta bang, bang, a boogie to the boogie. Say up, jump the boogie to the bang, bang, boogie. Let's rock. You don't stop, rock the rhythm that'll make your body rock. There you go. Now, so far, you've heard my voice, but I brought two friends along. And next on the mic is my man Sauce. Come on, Sauce, sing that song. Oh, yeah, I'm Mim to Dim. The ladies, ma'am. The women fight for my delight, but I'm the grandmaster. With the 3 MCs that shock the house and the young ladies. Oh, yeah, what do you got? All right, let's pause, all right? I want to give you that name, and I want to go through your news du Nord, your sports essentials, your sports update on the flirty 1130, AM 1130 KFAN, whereas Max likes to say in Amsterdam, it's 69 and smoky. Holiday Inn, said, if Max's girl starts acting up, then you give her some gin. Give her some
remix.
Gin. Yeah, what's up?
Since we're going to get into the NBA Finals with Double T around the corner, let's talk Dan Hurley, the UConn's men's basketball head coach, is expected to make his decision on whether or not he will take the Lakers head coaching job. He's expected to make that decision sometime today. Hurley is coming off a back-to-back NCAA championship wins with the Huskies. Hurley has told the media publicly that previously as well that the Lakers made a compelling case and presented a compelling vision, a.k.a. boop, boop. That's the sound of the Brinks truck backing up.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They got Brinks trucks, too, out Yukon way.
Yeah.
And in the business, we call it Mohegan Sun, okay? and they run a lot of things there, including, I think, where it's the Connecticut Sun and the WNBA tied to the Mohegan Sun. Okay, all right, 3-2. Couple of things here and briefly. UConn and your Huskies have, they've gone back to back, as you said, but back to back has gone to stacked because like Hurley, after they won the NCAA tournament, I mean, like one of the first things he said is with what we have coming in, whether it's transfers, recruits, or whatever, that they're like stacked again. So high-end program, wonderful, wonderful coach. But secondly, why in the hell would anybody want to coach the LA Lakers? I mean, why would anybody like Dan Hurley? I'm gonna guess my man makes like $13 million a year for UConn, or like 10, or like something like that.
Less than you think, actually.
Really? Okay, so let me get this straight. You're calling every single shot. Everybody wants to play for you. You never lose the NCAA championship, or go to Los Angeles where LeBron runs everything. Nobody's ever going to listen to you. And you might get some more shekels. You might get some more money.
$5 million a year, basically.
Damn.
It's 6 years, $32 million.
Oh, okay. We got a little problem here now. Well, if he goes to Los Angeles, it's strictly for the money. I mean, who the hell wants to deal with that?
No.
I mean, why?
And the team stinks.
Why purposely put yourself in the D'Angelo Russell meat grinder when you don't have to be in the D-Lo meat grinder?
Right.
So, we've seen it in football. We've seen it in basketball. We've seen it on many levels, young Maxwell, where Jim Harbaugh is the king of it. Like, now he's the L.A. Chargers coach because there was a little flim-flam working over there out Michigan way about, like why he was suspended last year and like things that may be coming up or stuff like that. So funny, he escapes and goes to the NFL. Pete Carroll got mixed up in some alleged cheating with USC, and like Reggie Bush was involved. And funny, leaves him high and dry and goes to coach the Chickens. So that happens a lot in pro sports. But they also use situations like this as leverage to just wring at the final metaphorical drop of blood out of the proverbial turnip. So that little 5 and 32, man, that sucker's going to be about 7.5, 8.5, something like that. Because this is also a leverage play for Dan Hurley. It's like they want me, you want me, they're going to pay this, you ain't going to pay that, and I understand it, but let's get close to it so I don't have to deal with these knuckleheads. Why in the hell would anybody want to coach the LA Lakers as this iteration of the LA Lakers?
I have no idea, honestly, PA, and they don't really have a whole lot of room to get better. They're always going to be involved in the rumors like Trae Young, and Donovan Mitchell and stuff like that. Guess what? They're not going to get any of those guys. I highly, highly doubt it. They don't even have the cap space. They don't have the trade assets. They're just the Lakers.
Doesn't matter.
It's just the history. It's just the pristine nature and the prestigious nature of the franchise. But I wouldn't want to be around LeBron. Anthony Davis is, he's mercurial as mercurial gets. And then, of course, you got the D'Lo meat grinder. I wouldn't want anything to do with the LA Lakers, especially with the ascension of the Thunder, the Wolves, and then you got the Nuggets and the Mavericks.
After we draft this player that I'm about to tell you about, none of it's going to matter. None of it's going to matter because we will have somebody to check Luka, and we will have somebody to check Kyrie. And then Jaden can go do his thing, and then we don't have to desperate trade for Darius Garland, which would include, maybe Jaden McDaniels. I'm not sure anybody, I get asked when people want to talk about the Timberwolves. In fact, Sauce asked me today, is like, do you think they'll trade Karl Anthony Towns? And I'm like, with all due respect, when I say who wants Carl, okay, I'm not taking a shot at Carl. It's basically, yes, Karl Anthony Towns got better this postseason, more composed, handled himself a little better in certain situations. Anybody see that contract that runs for like 2029 or whatever it is? Ain't nobody touching that thing.
Massive.
You know what I'm saying? So you mesh that with the player, and I'm like, I just don't know, like, who would, I don't know, man. But
the only team that I ever consistently hear every single year is the New York Knicks. And I don't know if that's just because of his ties to it, because that's his hometown. But we don't want
I'd guess Tibbs hated him.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he and Andrew Wiggins were two of the players. When Jimmy Butler was holding out, he came in training camp and said, put your best five together. I'll take the worst five, the worst 4 or 5, and we'll beat them. And he did. And then Jimmy never showed up again. I just don't know if Cat is Tibbs' kind of guy.
Well, and on the flip side,
I want Cat to be on this team.
Me too. And on the flip side, I don't want anything to do with no Julius Randle or anybody like that. The Knicks don't have anything that entices the Wolves whatsoever. So,
what's wrong with Julius Randle? The injuries?
Yeah, I mean, he's
Julius Randle is the bomb and every bit as good as Karl Anthony Towns.
That is not true.
But you're out of your mind.
That is not true. Are
you kidding me?
Karl Anthony Towns is significantly better.
He's younger
than Julius Randle.
Well, no, do you? Okay, I don't know what leads you to that conclusion.
He's got more of an offensive bag. He's got more of a defensive bag. He's a better passer. He's a better all-around
He's not a better
player.
passer.
He's definitely a better passer.
Okay, right.
Especially with the setup that the Knicks have. I just couldn't see. I can't see Karl Anthony Towns would be great there, but Julius Randle. I mean, I don't want anything to do with Julius Randle.
Julius is a dog. Okay, now Julius,
he's a good player. I'm just saying he's not better than
just
Karl
follow
Anthony
me on
Towns.
this. Okay, Julius and Karl, they just come from different arenas. All right, Julius Randle can be a very mean-spirited dog who will bite that ass. Where Karl has that to him, but he's more stylistically sound. So I don't. And Julius has been in the league longer than Karl, and he gets hurt more than Karl. But we may be watching a different Julius Randle because when he's upright and playing, he's absolutely fantastic.
But he's not. It would be a lateral move for the Timberwolves. They wouldn't get better getting Julius Randle.
Okay, well, you know what? Double T will be in here, and we'll chat with us about him because he's watched both and he's actually played in the league. I'm waiting. I'm excited to have you guys define to me what Karl does so well that would distinguish him really from a lot of players in the NBA. I mean, he's like, because with Julius, I think I got one or two things. Anything else?
Darren Waller, Giants tight end Darren Waller announced that he is retiring from the NFL at age 31. Waller released a video yesterday announcing his retirement, detailing a health scare that he had late last year that spurred the decision. Waller spent one season with the Giants after spending the previous 5 with the Raiders, where he had a pair of 1,000-yard receiving seasons and made the Pro Bowl back in 2020.
Darren has been, the word mercurial was used earlier by young Maxwell to describe somebody, and that would really be perfect for Darren Waller, where he's been in and out of dicey situations. Very, very good tight end. Very good tight end when he's healthy and happy. But so I think he raps these days. I think thinks he has some kind of burgeoning music career. Is that accurate?
Well, yeah, he came out with a video singing in auto-tune. It's it's abhorrent. I mean, it is one of the worst things I've ever heard. And I think part of that was spurred by his impending divorce with Kelsey Plum. I think it was a move to try to go. Yeah.
So he's in Vegas playing for the Raiders, and she's there playing for the Aces. Damn, were they together before that?
Yeah, they were together before that, and then she pulled out a post a couple months ago saying something like, "I can't believe you don't really know people," so on and so forth, and kind of left it up to speculation's sake, but definitely did not do him any favors. And then the girl in the video is sort of a Kelsey Plum lookalike, so I think that was more of a play to try to get his girl back. But next time, let the R&B singers do it, bro.
Thanks for the musings, my friend. Double T. Trent Tucker should be joining us in studio soon. We'll continue this Carl Anthony Towns, Julius Randle /MBA, and a conversation involving a bunch of things because Double T is that of eclectic. Into the final hour of the 9 to noon radio show today at FM 100.3 KFAN.